Welcome into the non-neutral zone. It's all about football with Brandon, Josh, and producer Gunner.
Welcome back. This is the non-neutral zone for it's the first week of April. Fantastic. I'm so excited. Spring has started. It's beautiful outside. The weather is good. It's finally I actually got a sunburn yesterday.
Yeah. Oh man, I got a little bit of sun. Yeah,
I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I'm burning. It hurts to take a shower, so I'm excited.
I'm glad I didn't get that burnt. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, it's great. It's a fantastic time of year. It just it sucks that everything's shut down right now, but we're moving past it. We're dealing with it. We're good, and we got some great football content for you guys. Even though the everything's kind of slow in the world of sports, things are starting to ramp up for football, right?
Yes, so we can take our mind off of it for just a little bit, hang out with you guys, talk football.
Talk ball.
Yeah, we're just a couple weeks away from the draft, so yeah, that's exciting, and we're rolling forward with the virtual experience, and it's going to be awesome. I'm actually anxious to see how they do all that and like what they do to bring the experience.
Yeah, it could be. It's going to be different,
They're going to use Zoom.
They're going to have they were supposed to have that in Vegas. And, they're supposed to have the draft in Vegas, and, Vegas is hurting right now anyway. Like, if anybody is feeling it, like, no tourism in Vegas, those hotels, those casinos.
Empty, all the casinos shut down.
Like I think Brandon and I, we talked about it. Like they're shut down. But I think we talked about it, Brandon, where Daniel Negreanu was actually pushing for him to stop playing cards when this started ramping up a little bit, because it's so, like if you're going to share germs, it's going to be at a card table, so.
Oh, for sure, yeah, and they were some of the last places to shut down, but it's kind of eerie. I've seen pictures of like the Strip. It's awful. It's weird.
All the empty pictures are eerie, but if you're going to share germs in Vegas, I think there are other places that are going to spread a lot quicker.
I suspect so. Yeah.
All right, before we get too far into it, I forgot to introduce you guys. I'm Gunner. You probably know that. I'm here with Josh.
Yep, and this is the first time you're going to see our faces.
Yeah, and
we should have did a little swap. Brandon, you could have acted like me.
I don't want to act like you. Hey guys, I'm Brandon.
But your takes would have been too bad. They would have known.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. Yeah, this is the first time you're gonna see us, and you can see us on the show.
Actually, they saw us in the video, or they saw Josh and me in the video.
Right.
If they watched it.
How many views?
They didn't see much of me.
I think we're up to 73 views.
Well, you said 82 last week. That's so strange.
Okay, I don't know what it was.
How many did you just say?
I'm under 100.
Under 100. Okay. Well, hopefully this episode gets far more than 100.
Yeah. So they saw you though, Josh.
I think we're getting ready to ramp up. Not so much of you there, Shorty.
All right.
Quick change of topic, but all right. Well, let's move in. First up, let's get into the news. You guys ready for the news?
Yep, let's do it.
That just happened.
Yeah, that did just happen. Some cool stuff coming out of the White House. So President Trump held a phone call with the leaders of each of the major sports brands, including Commissioner Roger Goodell. Reports indicate that the phone call went well, and the NFL season is still on schedule for September. That's good news.
I like the optimism, and I like it because they're not. It's not they understand, and the owner or the commissioner Roger Goodell understands that the league can't just start in September, but there's stuff that has to work backwards, where they have to start and do some training camp and get into it. So that's hopeful for a lot of reasons, but mainly because we still got fantasy football and real football.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, any thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to it other than, go football. Like
go football.
Ready for it. We all need it.
Yeah, interestingly, did you see that one of the only representatives not on that phone call was the NCAA? Did you see that, Josh?
Yeah, I think I shared that with you. Yeah, I think I told you that actually.
Yeah. Well, maybe so. That must be where I saw it. Just that guy non-neutral zone. I don't know. But interesting that they were left out. But if the NFL's playing, you got to believe that college football would be playing too.
So there's a lot more that goes into play with that, with classes, and so if the schools go back into class, there's a lot more of that than just the business side of the NFL has to deal with.
They have volunteer players, right? Yeah, no, I mean for sure, but hopeful for also for college football. But if all we have is NFL, I mean, I ain't mad.
It will be an interesting college season because if they're out, they're out of practice and no telling how long.
Yeah, no spring training, so
it'll be interesting season for sure. And it's wild that if NFL goes ahead, that's pretty much going to be the only major sports league that's going to play this year, right? NHL didn't have a full season, NBA didn't go. NBA got shut down.
And they didn't have as much optimism coming out of it. NBA, it sounds like they're trying to get their ducks in a row to see what it would be like to cancel the season. I don't want to get too much NBA talk, but
I think NHL and NBA, they'll both kick off in the fall too, won't they? Their new seasons will be taking off about that later in the fall. Is that correct?
NBA and NHL?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping that the NBA would take this opportunity to push their start of their season back for next year and just keep that permanent so they didn't compete with football so much. But
well, they're not going to compete with football anyway. But
well, that's the point. So, but like if they would give us something to watch through the summer. So I was hoping they would take this as an opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Well, I guess my point is like they're the only team that will have a full season
in this calendar. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, like I was just saying, like the NBA, they're going to push it back to a point where they'll be running back into their own season, so they can't.
Yeah. And I think that's why. Yeah. I think that's why you'll see them kind of shut it down.
All right. Well, moving on. Eli Apple is a free agent once again after another deal fell apart. He was set to be a Raider before his deal fell through. Oh no. Thoughts about Eli?
Who was it? Yeah, Brockers, his deal with the Baltimore Ravens fell apart. And so we've seen that happen twice, and we never see it. So it has to be something to do with not being able to get face-to-face and get these deals done. Don't you believe so? Like, is that your thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, there's got to be. I don't understand because this is it's the second time we wouldn't have heard about it like if deals are falling through, but because the news is so slim pickings, like they're finding this stuff. Like it's kind of bubbling to the surface, but I think
it was as big as Brockers was.
Yeah, I mean,
you would have heard about that regardless. It's a $31 million deal, so
right.
And then you have Apple's shortly after.
But what I'm saying is that there's just generally more noise in the world, and so I think that you're right in that it has something to do with not being able to be in the same room, like it's to work through this stuff. But it's weird because it's not something that we've heard about on a regular basis. I don't know why they're falling through. I mean, we can speculate, but what do you think about Eli Apple? Does he have? Does he have anything left? Is he going to get signed?
Well, he's still a young player, but he's sucked pretty much his whole career. He's been the corner that's been picked on everywhere he's went in the NFL. Let's see it with New Orleans and New York. Both times, they picked on him. So I think there's something to that, and I think the Raiders. I can't remember who it was they signed, but I think they got a better player, King maybe. I can't recall who it was that the Raiders ended up signing. So
yeah, so they were good with Apple. They moved on, and we can move on from Apple.
We can all just move on. Sorry, Apple. So the Bears are saying they're open to a quarterback competition between Trubisky and Nick Foles.
I mean, I can imagine they traded for him to relegate him to a backup. So I mean, maybe that's Nick Foles' main place. Like it's where he excels is as a backup. But that's what they're supposed to say whenever they trade for a presumed starter or team, the guy that started for the team last year.
And they gave him a fourth round. They gave a fourth round pick for Nick Foles and a first round pick for Trubisky. So I don't doubt that it's a true competition, but I'll be a little bit surprised if they give Foles the job.
I agree with that.
Okay. There's some sad news coming out about Tom Brady this week. He had to move into Derrick Jeter's 30,000 square foot mansion in Tampa. Feel so sorry for him. That's rough.
Poor guy. I've never felt so bad for anyone. That guy has nothing go right for him. Geez, I mean, I'm positive that there are tons of groundskeepers and chefs and all this stuff there. I mean, he's probably just like, get away from me, let me live my life. So,
Well,
poor
fortunately,
Brady.
he has 30,000 square feet, so he'll be able to get away from them. I don't know.
Is that enough?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, and I don't know if you saw, but Godwin gave him number 12 too. Didn't charge him anything. Just said, "Here, take it. You can have 12."
Well,
I was holding the guy for ransom if I'm Chris Godwin.
Godwin's playing for the future, though. I mean, he's if he gets enough balls thrown his way, he'll get paid. It won't be by Tom Brady. He'll
You don't
get
think
paid.
Brady's going to throw? So you don't think that he's going to get one of the? He's one of the best receivers on the team, and he's going to play in the slot. You don't think
that's what I'm saying.
the check
He'll be the guy that's
Tom Brady is throwing the ball? He could have got his money and had the catches.
I think he's definitely gonna do it. I mean, I think you probably could have got a cool $1 or $2 million from him, and Brady probably wouldn't have missed it. And Brady
Let's just be honest. Brady's probably buying him a pickup truck or a Bentley or something anyway for it, so it'll be something.
But poor guy. I mean, he's roughing it down there in Tampa.
Yeah, sunshine and all that.
Yeah, so,
it's probably a nice change of scenery from Boston.
Let's move on from Tom Brady. Josh is getting a little hot and bothered. Josh, you see where the Browns are interested in Jadeveon Clowney now? They're a new suitor now that he's gone on sale. He moved to the sale rack.
That price. Yeah, he dropped that price for the.
I'm losing you. I didn't catch what you said there, Josh.
That's because you interrupted me. I was just saying that he dropped his price, after the Corona business, and I think with fear that the season may get pushed back, that was a big reason for dropping the price because he don't want to get stuck with no deal and then not work. You want that guaranteed money to take care of your family. So
yeah,
I'm sure he dropped it to try to get something. He's still going to be paid well. So
yeah, do you like him with the Browns? Do you like that signing if they do it?
I like him pretty much anywhere he wants to go. Honestly, I just think he's a good player. Back to his time with South Carolina, he could plug into any system and disrupt a game. So,
do you have a prediction on where he's going to end up? It'd just be, it's just a blind prediction, honestly.
Indianapolis.
I'm going to predict Tennessee. Mine has a little bit more merit, but I like your homerism.
Mine has a little more cap space.
Maybe so. They might come out of nowhere.
Definitely so. We have more cap space.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so Antonio Brown and Lamar Jackson worked out this week. Is this news or noise?
I think it's noise.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's news because of
we're talking about it right now. So
exactly right. But because of Antonio Brown's relationship with Marquise, with Hollywood, I think that there's something to it.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens feel strong enough about their culture that they think that they could blend a guy like Antonio into it and not have him fracture the locker room or just totally destroy the place. I don't know that I agree with it, but that's just what I think.
Yeah, I think I actually read, though, that Antonio Brown said that he doesn't think he's a fit for Baltimore after he worked out over there. So I think it's noise. Like, I'm just basing that off of Antonio Brown's his comments. But, I mean, honestly, he could be blowing smoke. He's not the most sound guy mentally anyway. So if he gets an offer, he better take it, whether he thinks he's a fit or not, because he's on his last opportunity, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't play this year, then he doesn't you got to believe after being out of the league for 2 years, basically, there's no way he suddenly comes back and can even if
there's a way.
Sure, I mean, well, we saw
we've seen Josh Gordon do it.
Right. Josh Gordon wasn't the receiver that Antonio Brown is. So even if we go back and he's been the best receiver for the past 6, 7, 8 years, arguably, I don't know. I just think when you have that much time off, it gets difficult to be at the top of
Well,
your
he's
game.
definitely stayed in shape, Like, he's worked out with Marquise Brown as well, outside, like helping him develop his craft, which excites me for Marquise Brown. So if he can get back into it, I don't have any question that he could still be a great player. But I don't want him on Indy. I don't want him in our locker room, and we've got as strong of a locker room as there is in the league, the way that we've built it from the bottom up. So if somebody's willing to take a chance on him, it's going to be like the Marvin Lewis-led Cincinnati Bengals that don't have a problem bringing a guy like that in.
I think that
I don't know who that is right now.
I think the league is better with him in it because he's a good player, but most of all, I just hope that guy gets some people that he'll listen to in his life, because he is lost like last year's Easter egg, man. Golly.
And maybe part of that is why he was working out with he didn't play. And maybe that's part of the reason he's working out with Marquise Brown, to be around family and maybe try to get his mind right. And I hope that's what it is. But yeah, like for me, it's noise. I don't think he's going to Baltimore. They've got Marquise Brown. They've got pieces. And Lamar Jackson's not throwing a ton of balls to the wide receiver anyway. You want to see Antonio Brown get frustrated? Let him play with Lamar Jackson.
Fair enough.
Be fun.
Inaccuracy would frustrate him. So those are my thoughts on it.
So we have a fun quote from Rex Ryan on ESPN. He said, "Amari Cooper is the biggest disappearing act in the National Football League. I wouldn't have paid this turd." Do you think this is a hot take?
So he apologized afterwards. So ESPN
it's a weird
thought it
take.
was a hot take.
What?
Yeah. Anytime you call one of the highest paid players in the NFL a turd, it's a hot take.
It's weird.
What were the repercussions?
Did they fire him?
An apology. No, it's an apology. That's all it was.
Was it an apology from the?
It came out. No, not from the network. From Rex Ryan, but that's from the network. The network made him come out and say, I'm sorry. I was simply just trying to say that I think Amari Cooper is being overpaid at that price.
Okay.
Just bad word choice. Maybe he should have just said,
if he would have just
I wouldn't have paid that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be an appropriate word?
That guy.
That guy.
Well, if he would have just said if he would have just said Amari Cooper is the biggest disappearing act in the National Football League, I can't believe they paid him that, and went on, it would have been fine, but he used a four-letter word on ESPN.
Okay, yeah. Can't do that. It's a Disney network, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's right.
I had forgotten for the longest time, this is off topic, by the way, what ESPN stood for. So I looked it up. I have to do this from year to year because I always forget what ESPN stands for. And I had to do that this week. Do you guys know? No takers?
I don't remember.
Entertainment, sports,
Empire.
programming network.
Empire Sports.
Empire.
Because I always thought it was entertainment, and that's what I usually go to. But yeah, it's Empire.
Huh.
Don't know why.
Well, they've built quite an empire.
Yeah.
It's crumbling right now.
We'll see.
Especially now when they don't have any programming. Nothing.
They don't have any content.
They've resorted to NBA players playing each other on video games.
Esports, yeah.
Yeah, which this time is a big boom for esports in general. It was gaining a lot of footing in the past few years anyway. And I don't know about here, but in Korea, they have entire channels dedicated to esports competitions and, techniques and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, they do here too. Madden tournaments really getting popular the last few years, yeah.
That's great.
And big prize pools and all that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, outside of the U.S., FIFA is huge. Everybody plays FIFA.
The game, yeah.
Oh, I love FIFA.
Hey, and it's a game that anybody can pick up and play because it's sort of easy to understand how to play. You might not be good at it, but
kick the ball.
Right, yeah, kick ball in goal, like boom.
Yeah.
Ocho Cinco's pretty good at it.
Yeah, at FIFA.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a dog.
Okay.
He's good.
Noted.
All right, so that wraps up the news for the week. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but that wraps up the news.
That's okay.
Anything you guys want to drop before we move on?
No, we're excited about the draft.
Let's go ahead and. Yeah, I want to just take a second though. I wanted to note from Twitter we had a tag come in from Calgary, Alberta. Ellis Johnson wanted to recognize us for having good content, helping him develop an article about some football film grinding stuff that he was doing. He's got a particular article up right now about Leonard Fournette, and you guys should check that out. It's pretty good stuff. A lot of good content in there. So
what's the Twitter?
Just check out Ellis Johnson on Twitter.
What's the Twitter handle?
It's at Yolts, YOLTS, Ellis _MDF on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll try to drop that in the show notes. So look below if you want to get his Twitter handle and his Twitter account and check him out. Yeah, big thanks to you. What's his name again?
Ellis Johnson.
Ellis Johnson.
Ellis Johnson. Appreciate it.
From Calgary.
From Calgary.
So we're reaching out all the way out to
I didn't know
Canada.
he's a Canadian.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Hey.
It's okay. We're fans of you if you're fans of us, no matter where you're from.
Yeah.
So
Well, okay, let's move on to mail call, shall we?
Let's do it.
I think that's a good idea.
Oh, look, it's a mail call.
All right, there is a mail call. The first one comes from Mark. He sent an email and he asked, Mark Andrews and Darren Waller were two tight ends that were drafted in the late rounds and went on to have good seasons at a great value. Are there any deep dive tight ends to be found in this year's draft?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think that there are. We just
so we'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Moving on.
Who do you have in? Who do you have in mind there, Brandon?
I've got one that I'm just speculating on one particular one. I think that we could see Hayden Hurst make some noise. He had, he was just buried in Baltimore, and it was a different system. So that one's just speculation. I don't have any data or anything to do that. And he's currently probably ranked in the 20s in terms of tight end. So he's going undrafted. Not up there. And then my second one, or my primary one that I actually have some reasoning behind, other than just like I got a gut feeling, is I like Blake Jarwin on the Dallas Cowboys. Are you familiar with Blake? Josh?
Oh, yeah.
So the reason I have that is he finished as a tight end 25 on the season last year. He was around tight end 20 for the back half of the season. But that was with a 38% snap count, and which was like number 45 in the league. I mean, he was 50 in the league in tight end snap count. Jason Witten was number 5 in the league for snap count. Jason Witten was on the field all the time, and not because he was better than Blake Jarwin, but you know how it is when you're a veteran and presence, blah blah blah. I think you'll obviously see Blake Jarwin's snap count, so he's not going to come off the field. And if you take Jason Witten, finishes tight end 11. If you take their stats together, they would have been tight end number 4 last year. So Blake Jarwin.
Okay, so I'm gonna first say why I don't think those are my picks. Blake Jarwin, he's a good player, but he plays the move tight end position. The reason Jason Witten wasn't out-snapped by him isn't because of seniority. It's because he's a better blocker. And the Cowboys want to run the ball. And Blake Jarwin still can't block. He's not learning to block after 4 years in the league. He's not built to block. So there's too much target competition for both of the players that you chose. I mean, you're going against Calvin Ridley. You're going against Julio Jones in Atlanta, and now Todd Gurley out of the backfield. And then when you go to Dallas, they just paid Amari Cooper, a turd, way too much money. And so that he's going to be getting those targets. Michael Gallup's going to be getting his targets.
They got the targets. Targets this last year.
It's going to be.
They got targets this. They got targets this year.
You know who didn't get the targets though? Jason Witten. And so that the two things don't correlate. The snap count and the targets do not correlate with each other. That's the problem. So for me, it's Mike Gesicki in Miami. There's less target competition. Even Jonnu Smith is a better pick in Tennessee. with no
Jonnu Smith was on my radar.
what was his name?
I don't. Jonnu, yeah.
No. Who was the other tight end that they had?
Delaney Walker.
Delaney Walker. Yeah, he's gone. So, yeah. And I think that seeing Corey Davis isn't what they wanted. I don't think he fits the scheme. So, those targets are going to be up for grabs. And Jonnu Smith was a bad man coming out of college. So,
yeah, Mike Gesicki had 89 targets last year. You know how many targets Jason Witten had? 83.
How many catches did they each have?
You're talking about targets, so I can look up that information.
I'm talking about catch. I mean, you did. Yeah, so like Gesicki had trouble getting on the field because they were running the ball. They were tanking. The offense wasn't wide open. The Cowboys ran so many more plays than the Miami Dolphins last year. So, of course he's going to have as many targets as Witten when they're what I'm saying? Witten was on the field. There were more plays run by the Cowboys. So Witten's target share will be – his share was not what Gesicki's was.
I don't know what Gesicki's target share was, but Gesicki had 51 receptions on 89 targets. Witten was 63 on 83 targets. But you're –
So you think – let me ask you this. So you think Blake Jarwin's going to be a better fantasy tight end than Gesicki?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll take that board bet right now.
All right, we'll put it on the board. That's a futures board bet. So we'll make it. Yeah. It's got to be worth a little bit more if I'm going to keep up with it. What's going to be different in Miami for Gesicki? Like, what's the difference? Another year in that system?
A quarterback.
Fitzpatrick was a quarterback this last year.
Not all year. He had Rosen for half the year.
Rosen didn't play 8 games. That's crazy. All right.
He played enough.
There's you 4 different tight ends there, Mark. So hopefully that can give you some deep dive. And I think there's other guys out there. And every year you'll see it. Like it'll happen where someone pops out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I think the next question is sort of related. Tim Flenner, I'm assuming that's how you say your name, on Twitter. Have you discussed players that won't be drafted that could still find a way to help win people ships? There are a few players every season that are waiver claims, but eventually, due to injuries or lack of production from the initial starter, get more time.
You want to take this one, Josh? Oh, hey, let me take this first. Ryan Fitzpatrick played 15 games last year. Josh Rosen played 6. I don't know how many games Josh Rosen started in or just came in because Fitzpatrick threw too many interceptions. But Fitz was the quarterback all season. So just so you know, Josh, I know you'd want to know.
Rosen played 6 games?
He played in 6 games. Yeah. I know you'd want to know that information, so I just wanted to share that with you.
Well, those numbers are kind of confusing. I don't understand how he played in 6 if Fitzpatrick played in 15.
That's what I'm saying. Like Fitzpatrick played in 15 games, so maybe they both played in some games. Obviously,
okay. Well, that's probably good for the consistency between him and the receiver. Then, yeah.
But Fitzpatrick was there for 15 games. They had probably a good
relationship there when they were coming in and out.
I just knew you'd want to know that information.
That really helped your cause.
Yes, it did. To answer Tim's question, players that'll go undrafted, I think that kind of piggyback on the tight end conversation, you'll have tight ends that'll go undrafted who will finish in the top 5, but the top 10 tight ends who weren't drafted in the top in the top 12. So any of those could. I think that like Hayden Hurst probably isn't going to go drafted. Johnny Smith isn't going to be drafted, but guys who just are there on the edge, and I've just done an early deep dive on guys who are there on the fringe. Alden Tate, who knows what that offense is going to be like in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow at the helm, so he could become his guy. So I'm just throwing some names out there to you. You could search any handcuff. I would say Demarcus Robinson if there's an injury in Kansas City, he's going to go undrafted. Hunter Renfrow could go undrafted. I think he's probably going to get drafted, but he's going to be a solid fantasy play. And then finally, and then Josh can stop rolling his eyes, is I like Damian Harris in New England. I don't think they drafted him for nothing, and I don't know if Sonny Michel can stay healthy. So it's going to be a different offense. So who knows what happens there in New England?
Yeah. So Tyler Eifert, I'm just going to throw that name out there. He went to Jacksonville, and if he can stay healthy, he's going to be a good player. So just kind of keep in mind, Tyler Eifert is a high touchdown. He's a touchdown machine. So when he's healthy, he catches touchdowns, and if that happens, then he's going to be a league winner. So,
I mean, why didn't you mention him in the tight ends that you like?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Does it matter?
Do you like Eifert better than Gesicki?
Well, I picked 2. I didn't want to
you didn't want to pick 5. I'll just pick 17 people. Is that what you're rolling your eyes?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help Mark out.
That wasn't Mark. That was Tim.
Well,
and Mark's out there too.
Yeah,
we can help him out.
So, Tim, sorry you had your moment stepped on by Brandon. If you can weed through those 17,000 names that he gave you, I hope you find success, brother.
Yeah, or you can just draft. I mean, or you just pay attention to Tyler Eifert. That's weak, man. That's cute. Let me just give you one little tight end. If he stays healthy for the first time in 3 years, then he's your guy.
I could have taken Auden Tate, but
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a wild card. Anybody's a wild card in Cincinnati. It's AJ Green's going to get drafted, so you can't take him.
You know who's not a wild card? Joe Mixon, AJ Green. Like
he asked for guys that are not going to get drafted.
I know, but you said everyone in Cincinnati is a wild card. They're not.
This guy.
Semantics, it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right, I'm about to draft somebody's dog, though, it sounds like. I'm about to draft him out the window.
What's going on? What is all that?
I don't know whose dog it is. But moving on. Brandon, if that's you, I didn't know you had a dog. Do you have a dog?
I have, we have 2 dogs. We have a
I
Jack
didn't know
Russell. I don't know if that was our dog, though. But, I hear is it squeaking?
Yeah, no, I heard a dog.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we got Jack Russell and a Yorkie.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know you had dogs. Well, let's move on to Gunners halftime.
Gunners halftime.
So we're going to give you an update on the ranking system we're developing, right? So first, Josh, you want to touch on the rankings you were developing on Twitter with the followers? That list will be out probably the day of release.
Yeah, so the listener mock draft is up, so it's done and complete.
Great.
So make sure you get on the website and check that out. And we appreciate your participation in it and your patience with us. And I just want to say, I mean, I don't want Josh's head to get too big, but I just want to just publicly acknowledge that he's done a great job with this listener mock draft, sifting through it and laboring away at it, all while still working a full-time job and slinging coke every day.
Not cocaine. Coca-Cola. So I work for Coca-Cola, but yeah, I appreciate that. And it was kind of taxing, a little bit more than what I thought it was going to be, especially getting all the information put into a form that you guys are going to enjoy reading. So, I appreciate that. I appreciate the recognition.
So, yeah, good job, Josh.
Check that out. What else we got?
Well, in a few weeks, you guys are going to have to, dote me as well. Lay on that same amount of, glory and praise to me. I'm just kidding. We're developing a special system for our website. We got essentially 2 things coming. I think is the best way to explain it. We're going to have both Josh and Brandon's draft rankings up on the site, and it's going
Gunners.
To be, mine will be up there too. If anybody cares, I know you don't. Even though I usually have a pretty strong.
Might be the best, yeah.
Yeah, I draft strong pretty usually. I just
we want your rankings, or I wouldn't keep bringing it up.
So it's going to be editable for the user. So if you don't like it, or there are certain aspects, maybe you think, oh, this number 4 is actually number 3 or whatever, you'll be able to edit it, and we think that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So you guys want, and then the user can take that and maybe take that and come up with their own list for draft day.
Yeah. One
So
thing that we've
that's-
felt that was missing from a lot of sites, a lot of platforms, is the ability to just drag and drop a player from 1 to 2 or 2 to 20, whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to get them out of your rankings, you can take them out, and then you can print that sheet off. You can take it to your draft room and have your own rankings if you don't like what we had to offer. But we want to give you a good template based on good sound information, based on stats and different elements that we think affect those stats from year to year. And we ran a Twitter poll, seeing what you guys preferred. Seems like you prefer tier-based rankings and ADP over a top 300 list, and we agree with that. I think on the whole, smarter to draft off of those things rather than a top 300 list. So, but we're going to offer all of it for you, and you'll be able to pick what you want. So, look forward to it.
Yeah, we think that's a lot of fun, and secondarily, I think we're developing a special algorithm, a drafting algorithm. We're gonna crunch the numbers, and then this will also be a certain amount of user editability, I think. So you can adjust the sort of the weights, like how certain things are weighted into the draft pick. So we're excited about that as well. So we got a couple of new tools coming for you, the fantasy football player. Or not the fantasy football player. What do you call?
Well, our listeners are going to be called winners.
Okay.
Hey.
Exactly. Great. For the winners.
Yeah. I agree.
What is the preferred nomenclature for someone who
Fantasy
participates
football team manager.
Team manager.
Team
Okay.
manager.
Slip
Team
my
owner.
mind.
Team owner is what it
Team
used to be,
owner.
but then there was like some racial information there that people didn't like. So
okay.
they changed it to managers. So
I forgot about that. Yeah, when they did the commercials.
yeah.
Team owner. Okay.
ESPN had a special where they were doing an auction draft and
Like a live auction.
golly, they took a lot of heat for that. So,
And in hindsight, it's funny looking at because I think it was unintentional. No one's like we want to be
blown out of
racist.
proportion
Right.
too.
But but it was absolutely not this the optics of it were terrible. So but to paint a picture for you, Gunner, we could probably find it on YouTube. Essentially, it was like a live auction, and they had their little paddles where they would raise, and they were drafting and purchasing black men to be on their team, which is one of the ways that you can draft fantasy football players.
Yeah, it shouldn't take anybody, especially in a network setting, anytime at all, to be like, hey, wait a second, we probably shouldn't do that. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
But if they did it, that's well.
Matthew
anyway.
Berry took it to heart too. He felt really bad about it, like after the fact, because he seems like one of the least likely people that would do anything to offend anyone. And so, he was just doing what the network asked him to do, and then he's getting blasted on Twitter for being a racist. So I felt bad for him. Like, of all the things that he could take heat for, probably not that.
Yeah. It's funny in hindsight. We moved past it at least.
Yeah, it was funny at the time too. Like,
yep. So let's get back into this tool we're working on. It's going to. So what we're working on right now is a way. There are lots of I don't know what you would say, draft pickers online, and there are different ways they come up with their rankings. Right. I mean. We're going to come up with our own ranking based on numbers, and we're going to let you, the user, the winner, the team manager, not owner, kind of adjust the list.
we want to let you guys have as much freedom as you want to have within it. Like, if you want us to do the work for you and use a set of rankings, if you think that Brandon's rankings,
if you want the best ranking, you can use that.
Yeah. If you think that Brandon's rankings are superior to the other two sets, and that's the ones you want to use, and you want to make a couple tweaks, then do that. If you want to take Gunners and just use those, then do it. You can do whatever you want with it. So it'll be
if you want to take Josh's and use them, you do it.
It's gonna be a lot of fun for the user and for us too to see the results, and we can't wait. We're excited about it. Yeah. I get pumped every day we make a breakthrough with it. So
yeah, it's exciting. A lot of cool stuff coming out. So yeah, be looking for that. Maybe it's probably going to be closer to the summer, I think, when we'll finally drop that.
Yeah, well, the fantasy drafts are not happening until July. You know, usually at the earliest. So, as long as we get them to you guys by middle of June, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna push it out like immediately, but we're not gonna like have it too late either.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just want to keep you guys informed and be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be fun. We're excited about it. Right. So that does it for Gunners Halftime. You guys want to go into your fantasy land?
Fantasy land.
You guys have any new fantasies this week?
What was the other thing that you added, Josh, on fantasy land? Sorry. Oh, favorite handcuff.
Yeah, it's in the doc.
Okay. Sorry, I'm still on my paper doc.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
but I got you.
Killing trees.
That's what I do.
Favorite handcuff. I mean, if we're talking about fantasies and handcuffs, we could
plugged it right into the right spot, didn't we?
Yeah. We need a NSFW tag for the show. I think we could do that, an adult or an explicit tag for the show. We can take the show in a completely different direction. We won't do that to you. We like to keep it clean so you can listen with your family. I'm sure that's what you're doing. What you're doing. All right. So yeah, we're in fantasy land now.
There's a whole nother generation too coming in that's trying to get into fantasy football, and so middle school kids and high school and middle school now, I'm sure they know a lot more than what I knew back then. But still, we're not going to do our part in corrupting those early minds.
Yeah. Let's keep it wholesome.
Yeah.
All right. So let's jump into it. You guys ready?
Oh yeah. Ready.
Oh yeah. What factor do you look at the affects specific position differently? Did I read that right? What factor do you look at that affects specific positions differently? I'm sorry.
So
it's kind of worded weird, yeah.
I took it to mean like when we're evaluating, who we're going to draft, like which running back or wide receiver, quarterback, like what specific factors other than the way where we've got them ranked or how we rank them. Like that's the way I took it. For me, it's when I draft running backs, I want running backs that are going to get targets. They're going to participate in the passing game. The league has moved more and more to a passing league. It's just not a running backs league anymore, and they just are thrown away at the drop of a hat. And so I want running backs that are going to participate in the pass game. I want them to get 75 targets in a season. But like last year, out of the top, out of RB1s, there were only 2 running backs who had less than 50 targets,
and those probably had high touchdown totals, I bet. Too.
Correct, right? So Derrick Henry ran for 16 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and Mark Ingram surprisingly only had 10 touchdowns,
and those receptions are a lot more predictable than touchdowns.
Touchdowns, correct. So I want running backs that are going to participate in the pass game. So I love Derrick Henry, and I've drafted him before too high at times, and he's got me into the playoffs. But probably moving forward, I want someone who's just has a safer floor because they're going to be involved in the pass game. And that's just the way the league is moving. Like we're just not running the ball like we were.
So the same thing can be said too. Quarterbacks that are involved in the running game and wide receivers that are involved on end arounds, gadget players. If you're on the fence about 2 receivers, if you got a guy that's going to get a few carries, then you could take the guy that's going to get those touches in the red zone. Maybe an end around to the house. So so I'm with you there. Just having those extra elements to their game.
Yeah. So that's me on running backs. What'd you have, Josh?
For me, it's just the success of the team. So for running backs, I want running backs on good teams. They're going to be in position to score more inside the red zone. Also extended drives. They're going to have the ball in their hands more if they're on a good team. Wide receivers, less so. I want my wide receivers to be on a bad team. They're going to be behind at the end of games where they're having to throw to keep up and try to catch up. So to me, it's success of the team plays a certain level, and I'll let that be a tiebreaker. And some of that stuff is a little hard to to project from season to season. Last year, I made the mistake with Todd Gurley thinking the Rams were going to be good. I want my running back on a good team. Todd Gurley was not on a good team.
They were not good.
So, there's some deficiency to that, but at the same time, we can expect the Ravens to be good. So Mark Ingram should be good. And also with Lamar Jackson opening up the defense, that creates running lanes for him. So a little bit of a mixture there between our two elements that we just highlighted there, kind of coming together to give the listener a little bit of guidance.
Yeah, interesting. Mark Ingram, he ran for 10 touchdowns, only 10 touchdowns, which doesn't seem like a lot. He's finished as running back 8, but he caught 5 touchdown passes. So 20% of the time, he caught a touchdown. So he was getting lots of action in the red zone.
Those screenplays, where defenses don't know what to do with Lamar Jackson. So it gets people out of position. And when you get out into the open field as a running back, you can always have success.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, who is your favorite handcuff in fantasy football?
Yeah, for me, it's Tony Pollard with the Cowboys because they're going to run the ball. They're going to run it a lot. And Zeke, he's one hit away from being injured. And I mean, that's the value of the handcuff, and it could be anybody that we choose. But for me, it's just the safeness, knowing that the volume is going to be there. We saw it last year in the preseason when Zeke wasn't there. They used him in that bell cow role, and he found success. And the offensive line, even without Frederick, it's still very solid, still very good.
Yeah.
So, a good offensive line, a good offense, and so for me, it's Tony Pollard.
I like that pick. I would he would be one of my favorite handcuffs too. For me, it's whoever is backing up the Chiefs' starting running back. So I don't know who it's going to be. Last year, you had 3 of them. You had Darrell Williams, LaShawn McCoy, and Damian Williams. You know who's going to start week to week. But I would. That's who I would say. If you force me to pick a name, I'd have to move on from that team because I don't know who the backup running back is going to be. I think
the backup running back is Damian Williams.
Yeah, who you think is going to start this year?
Whoever they draft.
Yeah. I don't. We'll see. You may be right, but if that's the case, I like Damian Williams. But if you had forced me to pick a name, I like Latavius Murray. I mean, he's technically the backup. He's not really handcuffed because they run him.
He's a 1B, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But if Alvin Kamara goes down, you saw Latavius Murray step up and score massive amounts of points. But that's probably my favorite handcuffs. I want action in that Chiefs offense.
Yeah. What do you think about Justin Jackson? Do you think he's a valuable handcuff in LA?
Probably. I think he's going to be. You got to see what Los Angeles is going to do. I would imagine they're going to draft someone, but he may be a 1B to Austin Eckler because he's gonna play more because they've always run a timeshare.
They just paid Austin Eckler, and they didn't really until this year, and I think that's because Austin Eckler earned that when Melvin Gordon was holding out. So,
but didn't they pay Austin Eckler like $6 million or something?
No, they paid him a good contract.
I know, but whenever they signed I don't remember what it was, but whenever he signed the contract, they still said it was with the understanding he knew there was still going to be a timeshare.
I didn't read that.
So I read that in that, but that's always been the case. So I like Justin Jackson though. To reiterate that, I also like Austin Eckler. I just think that's going to be a situation where they're still sharing time.
I don't think they draft anybody though.
They have more needs than running back.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. If they do, it'll be a later round pick. They may take a running back in the 4th or 5th round, but there's not going to be enough draft equity there to take snaps away from Eckler or Justin Jackson.
I agree.
Okay, guys, are you ready for the lightning round?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ooh, boy. You've been waiting all week, haven't you?
I dream about the lightning round.
Okay.
My dreams are longer than that.
Yeah.
I have a theory that sleep as I should.
I have a theory that dreams aren't that long, and it's just our mind expands the time to them.
Yeah.
I think dreams could be very instant, and then we apply the time length to it.
You're probably right.
So you neuroscientists, get on the horn, call me up. Okay, let's move on. All right, first up, Tyrod Taylor or Daniel Jones? Going any
Daniel
order.
Jones.
Okay, Josh?
Oh, I'll take Tyrod Taylor.
Okay, great. Is Keenan Allen a top 12 wide receiver?
No.
No.
Simple enough. Who will score more touchdowns for the Packers this upcoming season? Aaron Jones or Devontae Adams?
Aaron Jones.
I think it's going to be a push. I think they both score around 8 apiece, 6 to 8 apiece. I think it's a push. Aaron Jones is going to regress below 10 for sure.
Okay, fair enough. We probably shouldn't have gotten so detailed about that.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought for a second and let Josh talk too much. I should have cut him off. Should Evan Ingram be one of the first 5 tight ends taken in draft this season?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, that's correct.
I've never heard that. Okay.
Yeah, I like CeeDee Lamb there.
I also like CeeDee Lamb.
So who do you select if you're making the pick for an NFL franchise?
CeeDee Lamb.
I guess it's the same question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think CeeDee Lamb's, that's probably who I'm taking.
All right. So out of these, is there any thunder you guys want to dig into?
I was surprised that you think Evan Ingram should be drafted in the top 5 tight ends, Josh.
I was surprised at how passionate you were about Aaron Jones' touchdown total staying absurdly high.
Do you know what their touchdown totals were last season?
Yeah, Devontae Adams missed a ton of games.
19-5. You think he's going to regress to 8 touchdowns?
I think he's going to be below 10. 19 is unrepeatable. We had this conversation about Alvin Kamara. I don't understand why you don't get touchdown regression.
He doesn't have to score 19 touchdowns to have more than Devontae. Like Devontae.
How many games did Devontae Adams play?
Man, you're making me do all your research for you.
You should know that it was around 8, 9 games that he played.
If you just bicker for a little bit longer, I can tell you that it was 12 games.
12 games. So
12.
How many did Aaron Jones play?
I'm gonna guess 16. I don't know. I've already changed my screen there.
It was 15 or 16. He played
16 games.
16 games. So you don't think that Adams is going to come up and Aaron Jones is going to go down?
That's reasonable. So if Adams gets his 4 more games in, then he probably can score 3 or 4 more touchdowns.
Which would put him where?
It would put. he scored 5 touchdowns last year.
So put him around 10, right? Between 8 and 10.
Yeah. Actually,
what I said.
Yeah.
And if he gets up there, those are coming away from Aaron Jones.
Right. So it's not. One of them's not adding, and the other is subtracting.
And they're gonna bring in another receiver. They already brought in Funches. So if he catches a couple, we already said Funches is huge. He's a big body guy.
You were just talking about how much you love Funches.
I did not say I loved him, but I believe
exactly.
But I believe he can catch 2 touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers.
Right. So what kind of this also comes down to the type of offense that Matt LaFleur wants to run. And Matt LaFleur does not want to run a wide open offense. And so they're Aaron Jones is proving that he is a dude, and he is Gunner. I know you're laughing at my sayings, but he's a dude, and he's a guy that they can rely on and lean on. So I don't think that's really even a debate, because Aaron Jones is going to have so many touches compared to Devontae Adams. When they get down in the red zone, Devontae Adams isn't going to get a handout. I mean, I just don't think it's a crazy thought.
I do distracted right now.
No, I'm trying to get that touchdown efficiency rate, and I haven't got it yet.
Okay, well, you keep.
Don't lie. You're checking Gerber stocks, and to get that reference, you need to check out the episode tomorrow, the short show.
I think that I was surprised that you have Evan Ingram going in the top 5 tight ends. So you have him
talent wise, he should be there. The only thing is a question of health for Evan Ingram, and I think that You can't argue with that, right? Like talent-wise, he's there.
So we're gonna agree that Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and Mark Andrews are 1, 2, 3, right? Is that a fair?
Yeah, probably so.
They're in that top tier.
Yeah.
And then after that, are you going Zach Ertz or Evan Ingram?
Probably Evan Ingram.
Okay.
With the Goddard split, I think that's going to come into effect a little bit more.
Are you going to go Austin Hooper or Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram, because we've seen him in that and with Daniel Jones, we've seen him
because you answered a certain way in lightning round. You're required to
it's because we've seen him with Daniel Jones and we haven't seen Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper could easily finish ahead of him. I think he's just as talented as Evan Ingram, but we've not seen him with Baker Mayfield, and we've not seen anybody be super effective with Baker Mayfield yet.
From the tight position,
yeah. So
I don't think it's as crazy as I look at just the top, tight ends.
Yeah, you seem like you thought it was pretty crazy initially. So
well, I don't trust Evan Ingram to stay healthy, so there's that part of it. But I mean, yeah.
So we can't predict. We can't predict health though. The only thing we can predict.
I can see where the argument could be made, but I think I'm taking Zach Ertz ahead of Evan Ingram just because of the proven in that system. I'm taking Darren Waller ahead of Evan Ingram.
Oh my goodness.
I'm probably taking Tyler Higbee ahead of Evan Ingram. So are you taking Mike Gesicki or Evan Ingram?
Well, Mike Gesicki's a sleeper, so probably Evan Ingram since I'm in the top 5.
Have you found what you're looking for there, Josh?
No. You distracted me.
Yes, good. I wasn't super passionate about the Evan Ingram. I don't think it's even going to be close with Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams, but because of the offense that they run, and Aaron Jones is just the dude there. It's not Aaron Rodgers anymore. It's the Aaron Jones show, baby. Rodgers has ceded to Jones.
Well, I mean, but we also saw what's the other running back's name? We saw him last year.
Jamal Williams.
I mean, he took several touches away. So, I mean, Aaron Jones only had 236 handles last year, right?
So he'll be fresh this year.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go.
He had 236 rush attempts, but he had 49 receptions. So
how many receptions did the other running back have?
Jamal Williams,
and he missed a lot of games. Like, what, he missed 3 games with a concussion?
I don't know. He got that concussion from Derek Barnett. It was a little dirty.
It was a dirty hit, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a little dirty. I don't know. I'm having to dive pretty far to try to find Jamal Williams. I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for to support your argument, Josh.
I was just trying to find the efficiency rate, and I don't have it pulled up, and it's too much for me. I got too much going on here at the home. It's not like the setup we had in Gunner's studio, so I'm having a little trouble getting used to that. This is our first time doing that. But I know he had a 50% scoring rate in the red zone, and that's coming down.
Who? Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones had a 50% score rate in the red zone. That number's coming down.
I would imagine so. I mean, yeah.
More. So that's coming down. More Devontae Adams. More Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers historically throws a ton of touchdowns inside the 5, and he didn't last year. That number's coming back up at least a little bit. It may not get to where it was because he's getting older, but that number's going to raise a little bit with Devontae Adams getting back healthy. And, if they add Denzel Mims or whoever they pick at 30, there's going to be another receiver in the tool arsenal there for Aaron Rodgers.
It's okay. We will see, but I see that you're growing on Devontae Adams. It sounds like you're a big Devontae Adams fan.
No, no, I'm not a big Devontae.
You like Aaron Jones in the top 10? Like drafting?
Top 10 running backs?
No, I'm top 10 overall.
Well, I have to clarify. You have...
Yeah, right. So do you are you going to draft it in top 10 overall?
I don't know.
I don't. Aaron Jones or Devontae Adams? Draft, fantasy draft.
Probably Devontae Adams.
Man, all right. Get that on tape.
I have Devontae Adams as a top 5-6 wide receiver, and I don't have Aaron Jones as a top 5-6 running back. So,
man, you know where he finished last year, right?
Yeah, because he had 19 touchdowns or whatever it was.
RB2.
Yeah,
RB2.
Keep living on that, Alvin Kamara.
All right, man. All right.
Where did he fall to last year? after his big 18 touchdowns.
Alvin Kamara was running back
13.
Running back 12.
13. He wasn't top 12. He was 13.
Running back 12 and half PPR.
No, we had those numbers before, and he was 13.
I'm not sure where you're getting your numbers, but is it running back 12? Joe Mixon was running back 13 with 207.9 fantasy points. Alvin Kamara had 208 fantasy points.
I have a quick question for you guys. How do you guys feel about doing a listener league? You guys want to do that this year?
I mean, I'm game if we have the interest.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Alvin Kamara was 13 and half point PPR. I'm looking at it right here on fantasypros.com.
You're looking at Fantasy Pros?
Yeah.
Fantasypros.com in 2019?
No, 2013. Yes, 2019.
You have Alvin Kamara. It shows Alvin Kamara 13.
At 13, number 12 was Todd Gurley.
I wish you were serious just now, Josh. Yes, in 2013.
Are you on what the world are you like? Are you searching half PPR?
On the right-hand side of the screen, it says half.
Yeah, full season?
No, I only did 3 games.
Oh, man, that's weird. So that's why yours is different. This is wild, man. All right, we got it because I'm using Fantasy Pros for my reference there. And mine has Alvin Kamara as running back 12, so he finished the RB1. Joe Mixon with more games finishes RB2. Man,
189 points is all that Alvin Kamara had.
Man,
do you have the right year in?
Not. No, oh man, I was on 2015.
Thank you very much.
No, I'm on 2019. Hey, we'll settle this. We'll settle this. I don't want the listener to. I don't want to lose them. But I'll share my screen with you after we're done because this is weird.
Yeah, that's fine. Because I've got it pulled up over here because I remember those stats from when we had our Alvin Kamara debate previously.
Okay.
And
yeah, let's remember to update on the next episode. Give a quick update about this and let them know who was right, who was wrong, I suppose. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. That does it for this week of the non-neutral zone. Do you guys have anything you want to bring us out on? Anything? Last thoughts, final thoughts?
If you have a mailbag question, anything you want to ask us, we have the NFL draft coming up, so that's some good content or some might pique some questions. Or if you just need some life advice because you're at home all alone, we're here for you. So send us questions at non-neutralzone@gmail.com.
Give us feedback too on how this goes with us recording, remotely from each other. Let us know if you've had any issues with it, if anything sounded off or looked weird or anything like that. Just give us the feedback because this is new for all of us.
Yeah.
So
other than our faces.
Yeah. Sorry.
Those are normally
know,
weird.
Yeah.
Believe me, as big a problem as it is for you, I've got to live with it. So
yeah, we are very curious about how this works out, and sorry if you don't like it. It's just the way it is right now. But thanks so much for listening. That does it for this week's episode of the Non-Neutral Zone. Like Brandon said, check us out on Twitter, Gmail. You can email us. You can check us out on Twitter at non-neutralzone1. The website, non-neutralzone.com. We have some great articles up there. You can check them out. And yeah, lots of cool stuff coming your way. So stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen, and don't fall into the neutral zone.